Welcome to the Weekly Spark, your fast 5-minute flash of insight into the world of mortgage and real estate. Every week, we're here to ignite your understanding of the market, from mortgage rates and housing trends to legislative updates and insider strategies. So let's strike the match and spark your week. This is the Weekly Spark.
Welcome back to the Weekly Spark. This is the first week of September, rolling over a new month, getting close to that fourth quarter. Jason, let's jump right into what we want to talk about today. First thing, to tariff or not to tariff?
Yeah. So Ryan, this week there was a ruling from the Federal Appeals Court on whether or not this administration had the authority to impose these tariffs in the first place. That obviously spooked the markets, and we saw some big volatility in bonds, which we'll show the charts later. But, the bigger issue for the economy is that if this ruling holds up in the Supreme Court, this is where it's going, the U.S. could have to repay all of the tariff money already collected. So right now it's unclear how the Supreme Court will rule. But think about this. Over $183 billion has already been collected. That's more than double what we collected all of last year already. And we had a record $31 billion in tariff collections in August alone, which is the highest tariff revenue ever. So Ryan, if a repayment is in order, this would be a massive increase to our national debt.
Yeah, it's to me that all I hear is the money printer firing up in the background, but we'll see how that plays out too.
Yep.
Next one, is affordability back? I know this is a common topic among people that they just can't afford to buy a house. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, look, so rates have already come down nicely this month based on the assumption that we're going to get that rate cut. So Realtors, I would encourage your clients, even if they're already approved, to call their lender or call us. They may be surprised on what kind of rates they're getting. We are quoting rates in the 5s right now. But in addition, the National Association of Home Builders, they've laid out a plan for addressing housing affordability. So one of the main proponents of this plan is really to make it easier for developers to finance new construction projects. Builders are seeing a higher rate than consumers are right now, and it's usually about 2 to 5% higher because it's a riskier product, and because the borrowing costs are higher, they're not building as many housing projects, right? So we saw a report that came out of Redfin, and it basically concluded that if the growth remained at current levels and we got mortgage rates to come down at 5.5%, costs would return to a more normalized level over the next 4 or 5 years. But if they remain where we are currently, it could take upwards of 10 years or more. So let's hope my prediction is right. We get that rate cut this month and get multiple ones, hopefully, throughout the rest of this year.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people looking at home building to kind of come back full force. You mentioned the act they may put in there with the emergency, and as well as Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of our time, just put over $1 billion into new home builders. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Let's see what you're talking about playing out on the charts here. Go ahead and take that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, because of the announcement of the potential rate cuts, we've already seen this upswing. So a lot of this is already priced in, guys. This is what I'm saying. Urge your clients to check and see where they qualify. They may have a lot more affordability than they think right now. Yesterday, when they announced that the tariff situation may happen, we saw this capitulation down, but today they've recovered pretty nicely, Ryan. So we are still seeing this nice upward momentum, and hopefully it stays.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing ourselves range bound, as you can see right there. We've kind of traded, 6 days in a row now, 7 days in a row now, right in between those two lines that you showed there. So be really interesting to see which direction plays out. I think it's got a break coming up here soon. Being range bound kind of is nice for stability, but it's tough for guessing where it's going to go next. All right, so let's jump into this loan program that we do highlight every week. This is a new one that we just found, and we've got some land loan options. So I'm excited because, in Florida, there's not a lot of land left and people are trying to buy it. So tell me a little bit about what you know about the land loans.
Yeah, so we found a new investor, but we've been doing land loans for years. And land loans are great because, number one, like you said, Ryan, not a lot of people are allowing land loans to be financed. As a mortgage broker, we actually have a couple of options. Even people that can't prove income, we can do a no-doc land loan deal. The differences of land loans is a little bit more riskier. So there does require a little bit more down payment, but we have options for people to build, people to buy land for commercial reasons. So there's a lot of options there that I think could open up some opportunity for our realtor friends out there.
Yeah, because this one's more for the people that are, kind of buying the land either on a speculative basis or on the basis of I'm going to build in the future. We've also got those options, and we'll talk about these a little bit more next week, where you can buy the land, build the house all in one loan, and only close one time. So that's pretty cool. So we'll talk about that.
And guess what? We do those loans.
Yes, it's awesome. So
Yeah.
got next week. So appreciate your insight here, Jason, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you guys. That's a wrap for this week's edition of the Weekly Spark, brought to you by Creative First Mortgage. If you've got questions or want us to cover something next week, please let us know, shoot us a message, and until then, keep your deals moving and keep your week lit. See you next time.